Hello, fellow traders. 'Tis I, TheRumpledOne, coming to you Monday, April the 29th, the year's 2024. Let's talk trading. Weekly open and gap with Walmal. These videos are for educational purposes only. Your results may differ from mine and different from Walmal's. Well, we've got today and tomorrow, last two trading days of April. Let's see what is going on for the week so far. For the pound, we're 37 pips above the weekly open, 32 off the high, 47 off the low. Looking at the dashboard, all weekly open gaps have filled. And you can see we're in the upper wick zone of the previous week's candle. For the month, we're still 106 pips below the monthly open, 192 off the high, 218 off the low. And we're still below the last month's low. We're putting in the opening range for the week. Right now, we had entered the opening range for the year. And for those of you just tuning in, the opening range is the first daily candle for the week, for the month, and for the year. That the high and low, that makes that range. So we entered that range, but we're out of it again. And we are in the upper wick zone of the previous day's candle. For the year, 202 pips below the open, 375 off the high, and 219 off the low. And that yearly low was put in this month. Inside bar traders, you I had a trigger at 124, call it 98, and we're above that level right now. There was a daily inside bar 10 days ago. We are below the weekly inside bar from 5 weeks ago and below the monthly inside bar from 3 months ago. And if you look on the dashboard, there's not a lot of inside bar action. And we're 78 pips for the day. Walmal had mentioned to me that there was an intervention. So you can see here, the pound yen had 699 pips of range, euro yen 596, Swiss yen 554, Canadian yen 416, Australian yen 357, New Zealand yen 320, and the dollar yen 570 pips of range. So hopefully, if you were in one of those trades, it went your way. I've been mentioning, I don't know, for about at least 2, 3, maybe even the last month, that I thought the yen was overheated and to look for shorts. Well, it seems like yesterday slash today was the day of reckoning. But that is just a huge range. Oh, let's see. Yeah, once again, we are above the weekly open. We hit the buy zone on the pound dollar, and it's just staying up there at the moment. So red rats looks like they've feasted a couple of times. We definitely have enough range, and the last trigger was at 125.28, so you'd be up about 9 pips if you had gone short. You could have taken 10 or more. Bambino flex indicator said to go long. Price near the pivot was a short, and it looks like Bambino flex indicator had us going the right way versus the pivot trading plan. And even though the pivot trading plan said near R1 is a short, and that R1 short would have paid off a couple of times so far. So we have taken out the daily pivot. We have not taken out the weekly pivot yet. We have at 24.45. And we got down to 47.8, so we just barely missed it, it seems like. No, we got down to 24.69. So, we've missed it by 24 pips so far. And for the month, we have taken out the monthly pivot. We are still in that upper wick zone of Friday's candle, daily candle that is, and 78 pips range on the week. Looking at some of our daily trading charts, or just trading charts. Okay, looks like we had we've got, let's see, prices below indicator 2 here on the 30-minute chart. Looks like we're going down to the previous day's open, down around 25.11. And looking here at the 3-level ZZ, we had a lowest high trigger a few bars ago that was good for about 2 or 3 pips. Walmal, you're done trading for the day?
I am done trading for the day. It's been an average day for me. I probably could have done a lot more. Just I stopped trading. I made my goal and just stopped trading. But it was the only rough patch I had was right as this thing decided to start coming down off the high. I had gone long, so I got into a situation where when it started going against me, but I saw an opportunity to take another long, and what happened was that because I took that other opportunity to go long, I was able to get out of the first trade basically at break even. So that saved my buns, as they say. But otherwise, it was just taking flip-flop boxes and win some, lose some, and my average today was 79%, which is not very good for me. But you have days like that. You roll with the punches, you make your money, and you move on. But the one thing that's going to be notable for this week is, in terms of news, today is there is red news today on the euro, but in terms of the pound or the dollar, there is red news every day this week, with the exception of today, because the pound and the dollar do not have red news today. But every other day this week, the pound and the dollar have some type of red news. And some days, like Wednesday, it's sort of like, well, the entire day is red, and which kind of makes sense, because what we got to remember is that this is an NFP week. So the unemployment number that comes out on Thursday will be highly looked at. The ADP news that'll come out on Wednesday will be highly looked at until we go and see the actual government released numbers that come out on Friday. So I'm saying all this because, as traders, we need to be careful of this, because, you can really be in a situation where you can get yourself, burned a little bit, if you're not careful, or you can wind up making a lot of dips. But the problem is, to me, that's more like gambling, because, you don't know which way it's going to go, and I'd rather go and wait for the news to drop, see what the market does, and then go and play your move off of the movement of the market. That's my way of doing it, because I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know if the numbers come out just on big surprises, and you can't make decisions on a surprise. That's just not, in my opinion anyway, it's just not a very smart thing to do. I'd rather go and make my decisions, what I'm going to do based on what I see. It's sort of like that motto that you have, that you say a lot of times at the end of the video, right? Trade what you see. Don't, and that's what I like to do. So I like to trade what I see. So market comes out with a surprise and starts to make a move in a particular direction, or over moves in a particular direction, I'm going to go and trade that. That's something I can see and see what's actually happening.
Yeah, it's hard to trade something that if you can't see it or don't see it. And I don't necessarily mean what your eye. Sometimes you have a plan and you don't have to be looking at a chart, but you still have to, it's like, okay, here's what I need to do.
Exactly right. And that's what, I say all the time, keep your trading inside the bounds of the river, right? Or the banks of the river. And that's the same thing. That way you're flowing with the river, not against the river. You know, and a perfect example of that would be because of this intervention that happened with the Japanese market. You know, they pumped 92 trillion yen into their market to prop up their currency. You know, good grief, that's like not a half a billion dollars, a half a trillion dollars. You know, that's a significant amount of money. And that's going to go and force the market to move. And when I stopped trading on Friday, the market was at 125.39. Okay, when I say the market, I'm always talking about the pound. When I say the market, I always mean the pound dollar. But the dollar was at $1.35. $1.25.39, and then it had gone all the way down to some ridiculous level, and then it went all the way back the other direction. And that's just why, because nobody knew what that effect was going to be. And it all happened, all within that first hour of that announcement being made by the Bank of Japan, and it just causes the market to make moves like that, And so, yeah, the dollar yen didn't move that much. Their range for today on the dollar yen is only 78 pips, so it's not much of a movement. And that's just
dollar yen. You mean pound dollar?
I'm sorry, pound dollar. I got dollar yen on my brain because of what they did. But the pound dollar, it only moved 78 pips for the day. Well, that's because both the pound and the dollar were both moving, in concert because of what happened with the yen. But it still caused a big change, And so, for instance, I just had the number, I just dropped it. But, you think about the opening gap on the pound dollar was almost 20 pips, and it just, literally from where it closed to where it opened was the price of the market dropped 20 pips. That's a huge drop, considering you had no way of getting in or out. So if you had your stop loss down there, guess what? It wasn't going to be honored. Why? Because guess what? The market wasn't open. So you were going to potentially take a 20 pip loss on whatever you had. So that's why I don't like to go do that. That's some people like to go and play these strategies where, based on what the close is on Friday, I'm going to go and do a straddle trade, for the open. The problem is you don't know what that open is going to be. It's a number you really don't know what it is. At least we don't, because we're not getting tier one pricing. We're not seeing that. If you're sitting there at a bank, you know where it's going to open. You can make some money there. Supposedly they're not allowed to do that, but they do.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my take on all this that's going on right now. And here we are. The pound over the last 2 hours, has dropped, but it's now starting to come back up again. And that's the thing about trading with like flip-flop boxes, on a small time frame, is the fact that we only have a 78 pip range for the day. But I guarantee you that if you were to add this up, it's probably close to 400, 500, 600. I don't know how many pip range it is if you just look at the travel, how far it travels, and that's where the opportunity lies for us if we're trading these at these levels that some people call noise.
Yeah.
We have the ability to go and make money on that noise.
Yeah.
Fine, call it noise, but I'm going to take it.
Yeah. And so, once again, if you see those opportunities, either on paper or on the charts, you just have to take them, because it's not what you trade, it's how you trade it. So go out there and drain the banks. This is the Rumpled One, over and out.